Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Kat and I am a streaming advice educator, and I also teach you guys how to grow as a content creator. And if you're returning, welcome back. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to go and establish a brand as a streamer and a content creator. And I don't want you to sweat about it. If you don't have a brand established right now, or you just started streaming, you really don't need to start off immediately with a brand. But as you start your content creation journey, as you are a streamer and you slowly start streaming a little bit more, when you start deciding that you really want to settle down, establish a brand, this is the video for you. And you can also rebrand later on as well. I have another video about rebranding, but if you brand it as something and you don't like it later on, it is completely okay to change it. I myself rebranded because I didn't like my old username. So in this video, we're going to talk about how to establish a brand as a content creator and a streamer using design, brand voice, and some other elements. Establishing yourself as a business can be a tricky situation. That's why I partnered up with Taylor Brands, a company designed to make this as easy as possible. As a business owner, if you're in the US, you want to establish yourself as an LLC, which stands for a limited liability company. This makes sure that if any issues arise, your individual assets will stay protected and you'll pay less taxes overall. We all know how brutal taxes can be as a self-employed individual. Not only can Taylor Brands help you establish that, they also offer easy logo design, checking domain availability, designing your website, and digital business card creation. Establishing a business and a brand can be very tedious, and it's super great to have a one-stop shop to get it all done. So check out Taylor Brands with the link below and receive a limited 20% off discount using the code CATLIENTE20. Now let's get into the video. First off, design is very important for branding, and there's many elements that this involves, such as color, fonts, design assets, and possibly a logo. If you take a look at notable esports brands, they typically stick to two main colors and will sometimes use different accent colors. They also typically use two main fonts, and not just with esports, but you can see this in brands overall. If you would like, you can also make a logo, and this could just be a simple design that kind of represents your brand as a character, or you can just straight up have your username written out in a pretty fancy looking design. That's kind of what I use right now. Other design assets are just little elements you'll throw into your artwork. So for instance, this could include a background you commonly use, textures you throw over your art, or common elements. For instance, I like to use grids and rounded rectangles. To get started on figuring out which design elements you would like, I really recommend looking at other brands, other companies, and just other creators and see what elements they use in their design. Pinpoint what you like. For instance, do you like the colors? Do you like the font? Do you like the vibe that it gives off? Does it give off a very comfy, cozy vibe? Do you like the professionalism that this person's brand has? Once you establish what you like, then you can kind of like pick and choose which elements of each person's brand that you like and put your own twist on it to establish yours. There are also a couple of rules of thumbs that I would like to go and recommend. First and foremost, in terms of design, I wouldn't go past choosing two main colors and then two accent colors to make a total of 4 colors you're working with. Maybe 5 max, but I would not exceed that. If you're always wondering about generating a color palette, one of my favorite sites is called Coolers, which literally has a huge list of auto-generated color palettes that are bound to look good together. You can also take these color palettes that they have generated and kind of just tweak it a little bit, maybe change a color here or there so that it suits you better. Also for fonts, I really would not recommend using more than 2 fonts. One should be a bolder font that can serve as a heading, and one should be a lighter, smaller font that can serve as just subtext. Also, with fonts, I wouldn't change the sizing too much. So maybe for your heading, you can have 2 font weights, one for like big, bold text, and then one for like a little smaller subheading. And then for your regular, smaller text, I would just keep it to 1 or 2 font sizes. I wouldn't vary the font sizes too much because visually it can make your artwork very distracting. I would also recommend making it make a little bit of sense. So let's say you are a crazy loud, chaotic horror streamer, super loud, super out there, and you have soft, pastel, cozy branding. There will be a little bit of a disconnect for the viewer who is like, oh, this is probably a cozy streamer, and then, oh wait, JK, it's actually not. Or the complete opposite, you are a total cozy, soft-spoken streamer, but you have the most like gung-ho, outlandish, like super edgy branding. Doesn't really make the most sense. Although no matter what, I will just say overall, this is your stream and this is your content, so make sure you like whatever it is. If you have a brand and you really feel passionate about making it this one brand aesthetic, go for it if it's what makes you happy. Look, I do educational content. I try to keep my branding as professional as possible, so if you notice, I use a lot of bold text, a lot of simple designs. I don't try to throw in too many. Well, I sometimes get a little bit handy. Sometimes I get a little bit heavy-handed with the stuff that I'm adding, but I try to keep it simple and minimalist and just easy to read, easy to comprehend, because I do educational content. But I really like boba, so boba just kind of makes its way into my branding sometimes, because that's just what I really like. And it's my streams, and I want to enjoy my streams when I'm streaming. Another key part is brand voice, which is basically the core values that you stand for. It doesn't necessarily have to be you as a person, but overall, like, your brand. What vibe is this brand giving off? Are you serious and dark and edgy, or are you like cutesy and upbeat and fun, or are you more professional and stoic? These different things will tie into your brand voice and tie into how you sound when you're creating content. And keeping consistent on your brand voice will help you keep consistent as a brand in general. So for instance, Harris Heller is a well-known YouTuber. Harris Heller is very educational, very professional, and it's evident in his brand voice. Definitely him as a person, maybe he isn't the most professional all the time, but as a brand, as Alpha Gaming, he does come off that way because of his brand voice. Another one is Denisha Carter, who is a TikToker. One of my friends, Xander, made a video about them a while ago, but they had an alt account where they would just kind of like make jokes and talk about funny things and rant. But on their main TikTok page, they are known for kind of being robotic, being very stoic, staring at the camera, very straight, and delivering a very solid, unbiased take on things that are happening in the TikTok space and the world. And that is their brand voice. That very robotic, stoic, straight to the point. But is that them in person? Not necessarily. Their alt account proves otherwise. I try to be a little bit funny, a little bit throwing a little bit of jokes here and there in my videos, but I try to be very upfront, very blunt, and very straightforward when I'm presenting to you. Is that me in general as a person? A good amount actually, but not all the time. Sometimes I just kind of like lounge around and I just don't do anything. But people have an impression that I get a lot of things done and I'm very productive because of the brand voice that I put out, because of how I sound and how I sound somewhat professional, I guess. It's hard to like describe yourself. That's kind of weird. But again, your brand voice does not have to be exactly who you are as a person in the day-to-day. It's kind of more so what your brand as a creator stands for. There's a little bit of a disconnect there, even though you are the creator making the content. I hope that makes some sense because I'm trying to explain it the best I can. But the biggest thing overall when it comes to brand related things is just be consistent. Stick to the same color palette, the same font, and similar design assets that you're using. So when people take a look at your content, they can immediately see, oh yeah, this is Kat's content, this is your content, this is Harris Heller's content. Because at one glance, because of all the consistencies within the brand and everything combined together, people subconsciously just know, oh, this color palette plus this font plus this brand voice equals this creator. And again, it's not that big of a deal overall. You may go through many different brand cycles as a creator. Maybe you get started and you feel really passionate about this brand, but maybe after you've been creating for like maybe a year, it's not really resonating with you anymore. And it is completely okay to change it and rebrand to whatever suits you and whatever makes you happy. That is the most important thing overall. But hopefully this video helped you kind of like figure out how to get started in establishing your brand if you're in that point in your career and you decide, yeah, I'm really trying to make a brand now. So if you like this video, I appreciate it if you liked and subscribed. It'd mean a lot to me. I also have an Etsy, which I sell Twitch emotes and overlays, anything a streamer could want, and a Ko-fi in which I have free resources for content creators. So check that out. It'd mean a lot to me. I also stream on Twitch 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 7 p.m. PST. Also, don't forget to check out Taylor Brands at the links down below. I hope to catch you guys there or in another video. Peace.